So yeah, let me pivot over to asking about a challenge that you've faced and that you've hinted at a little bit already. And how did you face and overcome the challenge?
Yeah. And so, we definitely a little bit about that covenant challenge, and it was minor to some degree because, I think by the time I was a sophomore and a junior, I was kind of like, well, I just didn't love basketball. Like I could look at the other guys that I was around the basketball team, and I saw guys that like this is their love, like this is on the front of their heart, and that's awesome. Like God definitely gives us a desire for that, and and I also saw the writing on the wall. I'm not super tall, I'm 5'7", not fast, not super strong. Not a great athlete. I could see the writing on the wall. So it was like, kind of time to put it down and just, doing that with grace and just, loving every minute of those 3 years, and then simultaneously say, you know what, it's okay, Taylor. Like basketball is not your identity, right? You're not in that, and like again, you belong to Christ, and so it was a challenge to some degree, but at the same time, it was a massive blessing, and it was freeing to just step away from competitive basketball and the daily grinds and to just be just a kid that I would still play intramurals or play pickup whenever anybody wanted to, but that was kind of like literally the first time since I was like 8 years old where I didn't have a season, a basketball season. So and I also wanted to bring up one other challenge that I've been thinking about, and that's actually happened this year in my coaching career. Again, I was at Newton. We won 20 games every year. It was almost too easy, when you have that kind of talent. Last year, my first year as the head coach in my school now, we won 20 games. And here I am feeling myself like, oh, you're God's gift to coaching. You took this little small school, won 20 games. But I'd also understood that our schedule was really light. And so this year, our schedule was really not light. And, we have about 500 students, in our school. And I do boys basketball. So if you cut that in half, that's about 250 boys. And then, so, even, our basketball playing population, you're talking about at most 40 kids and maybe 50. That I'm trying to pick a competitive basketball team from, because we want to win. We want to win the state championship. That's our goal every year. And, and so we actually buffed up the schedule a lot. So we played multiple teams with, 1,500 kids at their school, 2,000 kids at their school, and we've taken a lot of lumps this year. So, we have a 23 game schedule, and before last night we had lost 8 of our last 9. And it kind of came to a head when we lost a game against a team that's in our region that was really not good, that we felt like we should have won, and we played really poorly, and I just keep hearing my mom in my head, like, whose are you first, right? Like, is your identity wrapped up in wins and losses as a basketball coach? And I'm going to be honest with you, I flirt with that line daily. It is hard for me to put that to the side and say, I'm Christ's, not just first, but only, like only. And it's definitely been a humbling season for me to say, you know what, because after a lot of these losses, and we've competed, I don't want to say that we've gotten blown out. Like our worst loss has been by 14 points to some of these massive schools. We're out there and we're fighting hard. But some of these days that, after a tough loss in a battle, you look at the record and you're just like, man, I just want to give them the day off tomorrow. I want to just, even if we practice, I just want to go through the motions and not be there. But, we're called to do all things for his glory. And, I firmly believe that comes with how do we prepare and, are we on time and are we passionate about what we're doing? And, so a lot of times it's just like, suck it up, Buttercup, we're going again, and it's been really great. I've been really grateful and to my players who have totally responded, and that, whether they respond or not is irrelevant, cause we're just called to do that. I mean, that's not really, but they have responded. And let me tell you, last night we played a 6A team. They had 2,000 kids in their school and we won by 30. I mean, just super proud, and I don't, even if we lose, but even if you lose, like, you're called to just keep moving forward and doing your absolute best. And I want to model that for my student athletes, and they've definitely responded. I just have a great bunch of kids. So, that's been one challenge that's still present, I would say. It's not like we've totally moved out of it. We had the big win last night, but these things, like I said earlier, it's a long game. It's a season long. It's years long. It's, what kind of men am I helping to mold, at the school I'm at now? So, if, like I said earlier, if the best times in their lives are the 4 years of high school, then, that hurts my heart. I want them to be great husbands and great dads, in the next, decades or so. So, but yeah, anyway, there's a lot, but it's kind of a challenge going on right now.